die. Go too fast. I'm taking 3.
I'm going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and today I've got some Nicholas footage. So some of you may have recalled and actually may have taken part. Gamgoon had a stream yesterday running from 10 a.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern. He's also running the stream today from 2 p.m. Eastern to midnight tonight Eastern time. So be sure to check that out. Of course, the link to Gamgoon's Twitch channel will be in the comments. So this was, I don't think this was the first battle we did, but it was one of the first anyway. And we had some really good games yesterday. In fact, all day long. So I've got some great footage. Not going to be showing them all in one video, obviously, but over the course of the week I'm going to be getting those out, and you can look forward to that. So you can see in the Nicholas, this is actually the last game I played in the Nicholas before I unlocked the Farragut. I didn't buy the Farragut yet because I'm still saving up money and trying to think which ship I want. It's I can buy the Farragut now, or I could buy the Pensacola. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to go first. Probably the Pensacola. It's a cruiser, and looking forward to it more maybe than the Farragut. But anyway, you can see on fault line, and I'm going down the alley here where C would normally be. And figure that we're going to come across some of the destroyers. You can see they have 3 destroyers on the enemy team to our 5. And this was another crazy thing about the games yesterday. It always seems the games that Gamgoon and I were in, it was always destroyer heavy. Either our side had like 4 or 5 destroyers, or the enemy side had 4 or 5 destroyers. It was it was crazy. But anyway, coming down the destroyer, or this alley here where C Point normally is, and surprised to find that there wasn't anything here. So I'm not sticking around. Instead, I'll just go up the channel here and get out of this whole point, because when you're on this side of the map and you get to this point, if you keep going straight, and especially in my situation where I don't necessarily have a lot of cover or backup with me, if I keep going straight, I'm going to go right into the enemy, so I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm going to turn to the starboard here and go through this channel. I do see the enemy Kuma there, so I'm thinking, great, not a problem at all. I'll come into the channel, I'll give him the good news, and he's just going to get a mouthful of torpedoes. So no problem at all. Lining up for that, you can see I'm sticking to the starboard side of the channel here, because when I come out, I'm going to make that starboard turn and get my torpedoes into the Kuma. Or at least that's the plan, right? So there's the Kuma, looking at him. Oh god, then a destroyer pops up. So it's mine Kaze. That guy freaked me right out. I didn't know that he was there at all, so you can see I'm hastily putting torpedo shots into him. He's in reverse, so I put one wide shot out, and then I put a narrow shot if he continues to reverse. I didn't need that last shot, as it turns out, though. You can see, blam, right there. First blood, devastating strike. So I one-shotted the mine Kaze with my torpedoes, but I still do have to deal with this Kuma. So my port torpedo launchers are empty, so I need to turn and launch the starboard side, and it worked out well because that was an amazing torpedo dodge. So I shot off the starboard torpedoes, but the Kuma saw it, and then, oh my god, this ally here. See, this is what I'm talking about, people, about watching your allies when you're firing your torpedoes. Luckily I caught it in time and was able to turn, and you can see in comments, the guy who did shoot the torpedoes, I'm not criticizing him at all, because you can tell he didn't mean to do it. He was very thankful that I was able to avoid them. So the port side torpedoes are now reloaded, and I'm going to fire them off into the Kuma. I did a spread, one to the port, one to the starboard, to make sure that depending on where he turned, I would still get him. The Kuma decided to take the starboard turn, and there we go. There. So, got him. Not a problem at all. So, I don't know, maybe this is like 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe a little longer into the battle, but we're already at 3 kills here. So we're doing pretty good. Now I've got Nicholas. He's popping up, and we're going to have to do something about this guy here as well. Kind of on a roll, so we can't let him live. This is one thing, obviously, that the American destroyers really excel at is the guns. Using the guns to gun things down. My aim at this time isn't too great because, I'm still kind of freaking out over those first 3 kills, but it doesn't matter. I keep pouring the fire into him. He does pop his smoke, but it's not a big deal because he's traveling so quickly. He's popping in and out of the smoke, so I'm still able to get shots in on him every time I'm reloaded. So that's pretty great. And I'm finally kind of ranged in on him now, so you can see I'm actually scoring hits, not doing a whole lot of damage. But that's the thing I find about the American destroyer guns. They're great, great guns. When they hit, they don't do a whole lot of damage, but that's not the point. It's damage per minute that they're pumping out here. The reload on them is so fast that you're gonna do a really, really large amount of damage over a short period of time, which is really great. So we're getting more shots into the Nicholas here, and almost have him down. Just a few more salvos. There he goes. So that's the 4th kill. So feeling pretty good. Things are going well. You can see that on my side here. I started off in the east, and we took that whole point. There's another close torpedo dodge. But we took the east side, pushed into the center, took the center, and now we're pushing into the enemy base. Kind of mopping it up here, and that's on our side. Now on the west side, where Gamgoon is, Gamgoon's in his Congo, and they're still fighting it out over there. The enemy did go heavy on the west side, so they have a lot more to deal with than what we had on our east side here. So I'm pushing through, hoping to get into the enemy base, start causing some damage. I'm very aware of the aircraft carrier that's right there, as well as this enemy cruiser. So I'm going to go for the aircraft carrier. You can see he is going to take a bunch of damage here shortly, so that by the time I come around the island, I'll be able to finish him off nicely. And that enemy cruiser is behind the other island there, so he can't get a shot off at me. So it just makes sense to go ahead and take out the carrier first, in this situation anyway. So we're still coming in. We do have, you can see that it was the friendly torpedoes there, or friendly torpedo bombers there that did all the damage to the Langley. And then I come around, and I'm just finishing him off at this point, making sure that if he does manage to launch any more planes, hopefully he won't be able to give them any more commands, and more importantly, he's taken out of the picture entirely. He's not going to be a threat to our team at all. So just a few more shots into him, and there he goes. He's gone. That was great. So now we have this guy. Oh, so it wasn't an enemy cruiser at all. It's another enemy destroyer. Surprise, surprise. So we need to get this guy gone here as well. So we're going to start putting shots into him immediately. All my shots are missing. But no big deal, because those shots do manage to find their target. And I've got more allies here on by me that are going to actually finish him off. I do shoot out the torpedoes just in case they didn't get him. You can see the torpedoes, though, wouldn't have amounted to anything anyway, because they just went right into the island and gone. Now this is the point where I'm feeling so good that I'm not even thinking anymore, and I'm gonna start running into some trouble here. It's not gonna turn out too well for me. So I have some enemy battleships in front of me. There's a South Carolina, and I think the other one's a Wyoming maybe. And I immediately want to take out that South Carolina. He's slow. His guns don't have great accuracy, so they have a really big dispersion on them. So I'll be able to dodge them without any issue. I've got my smoke and I've got my boost all recharged and ready to go. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna get this guy. And then that Omaha comes around the corner over there. Suddenly it's like, oh well, now there's 3 targets. What's the biggest threat? I'm assuming that it's the Omaha, but I'm still sort of sizing them up at this time. Like, here's the Wyoming. I could get him. I'm in my American destroyer, and I know my guns are awesome, so I'm not going to be playing it safe here like I would normally in a Japanese destroyer. You can see my AAs going off at those torpedo bombers, and I decide, alright, the Omaha, this is the biggest threat for me here. Gotta do something about this guy, so I do start firing into him. And that, and that's really my first mistake, because you can see we almost have the cap one here. Um, by shooting, I've given away my position. I take some incoming fire from the Wyoming there. Right now I should have popped my smoke. I do turn off my AA, but I should have actually popped the smoke at this point. Omaha's returning fire at me now. I am dodging it sort of, but it's not. It's just not going as well as I really had hoped it would at this point. But still not thinking. So I'm still going to be firing at the Omaha, and every time I do this, it's giving away my position. They are far enough that if I wouldn't have fired, they wouldn't have seen me. But he's on such low health. I want that that fifth kill. The South Carolina has just been destroyed, so now I'm feeling justified in being this aggressive. So I was like, all right, let's turn the boat around here. Let's get some more shots into this Omaha. So the plan was that I was going to shoot the Omaha, take him out, and then I was going to swing around and take out the Wyoming with torpedoes. That's the plan. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter that I've fired because I am going to be detected regardless. So I guess, it's debatable as to whether or not this was a good move. I'm saying that it wasn't. Right from the beginning, I shouldn't have done it, but yeah. At least I do manage to pop the smoke. I am getting shots into the Omaha, and I get that lucky torpedo. If that thing wouldn't have ran out, that would have been it. I would have died. But you can see I've taken some damage there from the Omaha, and he finishes me off, and I never managed to get that torpedo spread out. He's on such low health. Oh, I was really disappointed. He does end up getting killed by one of my teammates, so that's good. And now the remaining teammates really only have to focus down on that Wyoming. So now that I'm dead, we're going to jump over here to Gamgoon. In his Congo. His Congo is stock, as he mentioned, so no propulsion upgrade, no hull upgrade, obviously, nothing at all. Throw on some paint because it makes it look cooler. Now, Gamgoon's coming across this South Carolina. You can see they're really, really close. I was telling him to go for the ram on that, but he was wiser than I and decided not to do it. At one point, though, it's coming up shortly, it looks like the South Carolina is actually going to attempt the ram on Gamgoon. And Gamgoon is maneuvering to get away from it. So you can see it's slowly happening here. I mean, these are, at this point, Gamgoon's Congo is a slow battleship, and South Carolina is one of the slowest, if not the slowest battleship, so it's kind of funny to watch. Okay, all Gamgoon had to do was throttle down and miss that South Carolina, which was alright. South Carolina did put in like a point-blank shot there on Gamgoon, but he's firing high explosives, so it doesn't do a whole lot of damage other than set Gamgoon on fire. Gamgoon just has to turn, there he goes, finishes off that South Carolina and gets the kill. Again, because he's so slow as well, he's able to make this turn here and avoid this island altogether and not actually beach himself, which it's just so great. I mean, you can really pull off some great maneuvers in your slow battleships, but I mean, once the Congo gets fully upgraded with the propulsion and the overall range increase, it's just such a great battleship, I think, anyway. I mean, it's really amazing. So he's managing to come to a stop here, and you can see that our team only has 3 enemy teams to contend with at this time. We're putting fire into them. We're still managing to cap their base, which isn't too bad at all. The Wyoming is still alive, I believe. It's hard to tell. I think that's, yeah, whatever. 3 enemy ships. There's another one that actually is within Gamgoon's range and hasn't gone beyond the island yet. So while Gamgoon is reversing, getting himself back into a position where he can come out of the island here to put some shots into him, he does take the snapshot on that enemy ship. I mean, why not do it, right? Even though most of your shots might hit the island, maybe all of them will, doesn't matter. Take the shot anyway. You never know, one of them might go through, and especially if you're in a battleship like this, you know, the one that goes through could be a citadel shot, so take the shot. There is another enemy ship, so now we've got 2 enemy ships remaining. Just before that third one died just now, you could see all 3 were getting grouped together by us, which was nice. Just sort of getting them into a circle and pounding away at them. So now Gamgoon's going forward, and he's coming back across this island here. So that's not too bad at all. We're going to be able to get some more shots into the enemy ships, hopefully before before the Allies finish them off. Because at this point, we've just abandoned the cap altogether. There's no need to continue capping. You know, why not? Take out the rest of the enemy ships, you know, get whatever extra experience and points that we can manage. There's the second last enemy ship gone. Now there's only 1 enemy ship remaining, and then we have the battle. So really good game overall. The enemy team, I think their actions were the biggest cause as to why we did so well here. I think if they would have managed to get a destroyer to meet me over there on the east side early in the game, might have been a different story, but instead didn't happen, and I was able to get those early kills, which put our team in a great position to win overall. So final results coming up here on the screen. You can see I didn't do too bad at all, even though I did die. This is 2 times. There's the whole 2 times weekend happening right now, so that 5200 is 2 times. But overall, you know, no surprise, I did earn the most experience on the team at 1700 base experience, so that wasn't too bad. Damage done, I mean, it is tier 5, and I didn't have that many torpedo hits, so the overall damage done wasn't a whole lot, but still managed a bunch of credits and experience, and you know, that's ultimately what I want, to get closer to buying more modules and whatnot on my tier 8s. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Keep in mind that Gamgoon is running his stream today from 2 p.m. Eastern until midnight, and the link to his Twitch channel is in my comment section. So thanks again, and as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.